For more than 95% of human history, nobody farmed anything. No wheat, no rice, no corn, no permanent villages, no cities. Humans hunted, gathered, and moved constantly for over 200,000 years, and then almost suddenly around 12,000 years ago, humans across different parts of the world made the same shocking decision. They stopped moving and started farming. This wasn't a small lifestyle change. It was the biggest revolution in human history. Farming reshaped our bodies, our societies, our beliefs, our hierarchies, and even our mental health. It led to cities, empires, war, inequality, and modern civilization itself. But the biggest mystery still remains. Why did humans do it? Because here's the paradox. Early farming made life harder, not easier. Farmers worked longer hours. Their diets became less nutritious. Diseases spread faster. Social inequality increased. And yet, humans chose farming anyway. Not once. Not in one place. But independently. All over the world. That's the mystery scientists still struggle to fully explain. So what forced humans to abandon a lifestyle that had worked for thousands of years? What changed the rules of survival so drastically that farming suddenly became the only option? The answer lies in climate chaos, population pressure, accidental discoveries, and a chain reaction no one could stop once it began. Before farming, humans lived as hunter-gatherers. They moved with the seasons. They followed animal herds. They gathered fruits, roots, nuts, and wild grains. They worked fewer hours than modern people do today. Anthropological studies show hunter-gatherers often had more leisure time, stronger community bonds, and relatively equal social structures. There were no kings, no landlords, no taxes. Survival depended on cooperation, not control. So why give that up? The turning point came at the end of the last ice age. Around 12,000 years ago, Earth's climate began warming rapidly. Massive ice sheets melted. Rainfall patterns shifted. Entire ecosystems changed. Large animals that humans depended on, like mammoths and giant deer, started disappearing. Some went extinct. Others migrated. Food sources that were once predictable became unreliable. Humans were suddenly facing a new reality. The old hunting routes didn't work anymore. Familiar plants vanished. Seasons became less predictable. Survival required new strategies, and in certain regions especially, the Fertile Crescent wild grains like wheat and barley began growing in abundance. Humans didn't invent farming overnight. It started accidentally. People gathered wild grains. They dropped seeds near campsites. Some grew back stronger the next year. Humans noticed patterns. Slowly, unconsciously, they began manipulating nature. At the same time, human populations were growing. Warmer climates meant higher birth rates. More children survived. Larger groups stayed together longer. But hunting and gathering only works efficiently for small populations. Once groups became too large, wild resources couldn't regenerate fast enough. This created pressure to stay and starve, or change how food is produced. Farming wasn't chosen because it was better. Once people began planting crops, they had to stay put. Crops need protection, timing, and labor. Settlements formed. Storage pits were built. Surpluses emerged, and surpluses changed everything. For the first time, food could be owned, stored, guarded, and controlled. Some people had more than others. Leadership roles appeared. Property became a concept. Conflict became inevitable. Biological evidence proves this transition was brutal. Early farmers were shorter, weaker, and sicker than hunter-gatherers. Their teeth show signs of malnutrition. Their bones show repetitive labor stress. Disease spread rapidly in crowded settlements. Yet farming spread anyway, because farming supports more people per area than hunting ever could. Even if life was harder, farming populations grew faster. And in the long run, numbers beat strength. Farming didn't begin in one place. It emerged independently in Mesopotamia, China, Mesoamerica, the Andes, and Africa. This tells us something crucial. Humans everywhere faced similar pressures. Climate instability, Population growth, resource stress. The agricultural revolution wasn't planned, it was forced by circumstances. Once humans crossed a certain threshold, farming locked them into a feedback loop. More food led to more people. More people required more food. That meant more land, more labor, more control. Forests were cleared. Animals were domesticated. Humans reshaped the planet in ways no species ever had before. This is the moment when humanity stopped adapting to nature and started forcing nature to adapt to us. Now pause here for just a moment. If you're realizing how deep this story goes, how one decision reshaped every life on Earth today, then subscribe now. Most people watch history, but don't support the work behind it. Your one subscribe keeps these real human stories alive. Now let's continue. As early farming spread, human psychology began changing as well. Time became linear. Instead of living day to day, people started thinking in seasons, harvest cycles, future planning. Anxiety increased. Control increased. Religion evolved. Gods became tied to fertility, rain, and crops. Rituals emerged to explain forces humans couldn't control. Social hierarchies hardened. Those who controlled land and food controlled people. Inequality became normal. Warfare increased as settlements fought over fertile land and water. The first walls weren't built to keep animals out, they were built to keep other humans out. And yet, farming also unlocked incredible potential. Specialization emerged. Some people became builders, priests, artists, inventors. Writing was born to track grain storage and taxes. Mathematics evolved from counting crops. Civilization itself grew from the soil. Farming was not humanity's greatest invention. It was humanity's greatest trade-off. Freedom for security, equality for stability, simplicity for complexity. Every city, every nation, every war, every modern problem traces back to this moment when humans planted seeds and chose to stay. And here's the haunting truth. Once farming began, there was no escape. Hunting and gathering could no longer support the exploding population farming created. Humanity crossed a point of no return. We didn't just domesticate plants and animals, they domesticated us. This is part one of this story, and I want to be honest with you for a moment. Real history can't be rushed. It can't be squeezed into seconds without losing its soul. If you want part two, please don't just watch and scroll away. Your comment tells me that this story mattered to you, that you want to understand where we came from and why the world became the way it is. And please, subscribe. Most people watch history, feel something deep inside, and then disappear, but behind every video is time, research, effort, and belief that knowledge still matters. Right now, we have a small but real goal. To complete 100 subscribers this week. Not for fame, not for numbers, but to prove that real stories still have a place in this fast world. Every single subscribe isn't just support, it's a voice saying, keep going. If this video made you pause, made you think, made you feel curious or uncomfortable or amazed, then stay with us. Be part of this journey. Come in for part two. Subscribe so this story doesn't end here.